access this. Alright, so I have entered my ESN and date of birth, so it's going to fetch my mask card using the IAM role, and this IAM role have certain policy. This policy give permission to access my S3 bucket where the data is the mask cards are stored. So if I click view mask card, it's going to fetch my mask card. How it identify? It's going to merge my ESN and my it's going to merge my ESN and my data birth. So I used simple backend application to identify, like if I have this ESN and this data birth, it's going to fetch this particular file, object file. So simple as that. Now let's demonstrate the attack, like how we could exploit Instance Metadata version 1 and how SSRF actually implemented and how we could exploit that. And we'll be using few tools, starting with fuzzing tools. And we'll be also using Websuit. Websuit will be using proxy and repeater to capture the request, and we'll be sending that capture request into repeater to send the request multiple times. What else we'll be doing right now is yeah. So as an attacker, we have to understand, like we have to follow some methodology, right? So starting with source code analysis, we'll be looking into for any improper details like service version or particular team used or particular technology used, or any misinformation, or like any exposed credential, hard coded credentials. But here we have some interesting information. It's a command saying that use header, that is debug is true, is for debugging, like to fixing any bugs. So I think this particular thing is still turned on, so I could use this to elaborate some additional parameter. As an attacker, I would be thinking that way. So let's open our terminal. Now I'm going to do a fuzzing attack. So fuzzing is basically brute forcing for additional parameter. We'll be looking for parameter which could be exploited. You could exploit a particular parameter using that. So I'll be going to my directory called checklist. It's have a few word list, discovery, web content. Yep. Now the tool I have talked about is fudging. Alright, we have to mention the word file, like the document the word list, we have to mention that, right? I will go with common tst, and I'll be using our URL, this one, and I'll be using the header we found, that is yes debug true. Also I'll be using the body request where we need we have to check where we have to give the particular word list things. I'll show you the word list first. Send the it's actually here, right? Checklist, that is one, discovery, web content, common tst. So this is the word list. So we'll be looking all these things, like any parameters that have this thing opened. So we'll be seeing that first. I'm going to say the localhost http /127.0.0.1, which is actually localhost, like it's similar to 0.0.0, but yeah. Alright, now it's gonna perform brute force attack. I think it's correct. Alright, now we have few things. We have id, we have response, we have lion, word, character, and payload. Payload is like the parameter we are looking for, like the actual parameter which can be exploited, and character and lions or the things we could focus on. Response is like 200, so we know that it's vulnerable to SSRF, so it's gonna return 200. And the thing we have to see here is 34, 90, and 111. It's is the default one right now. If any parameter or any payload have different kind of lions, words, and character, then it is returning some different kind of strings. So we could understand that particular thing is actually the parameter we are looking for. So okay, I'll stop here. We found one. Oh, it's actually in here. See, it's different from other word, lion, and character, right? So it returning some other different input. So we can check that. All right. What I do, we just found our parameter. Now let me just go into my Websuit, and then the proxy we have to open our browser. We have to just copy paste our IP address. This one I'll just copy and I'll paste it. Alright, we have to turn intercept on. So it's like man in the middle attack. We are just gonna capture the packet, we're gonna keep it, we'll be forwarding into repeater, we'll be modifying the request and send it again and again to retrieve the response. So I'm gonna give my USN, it could be any USN, like even if it is wrong, it's no issue. I'm gonna send that. So intercept with capture. Alright, I'm gonna send this request into my repeater. Alright, now we found two things. We found the header that needed to use for debugging our web application, so I'll be adding it after the host debug through. Also we found the parameter we looking for. I'll put and I'll be mentioning the parameter name health check URL and http // I'm going to use the special IP address that used to request instant metadata service, that is 169.254.169.254. I'm going to send this request and let's see what happens. See, it's actually working. SSRF debug response, we actually made it vulnerable, so giving the response in a clean manner, but in real world it won't be this much similar or easier. So I'll just copy the latest and I'll send back. Now we have three tags: dynamic, metadata and user data. We are interested in metadata, so I'm gonna go with metadata, but the user data is nothing like, so it's basically when we are creating or launching a new EC2 instance, we'll be having an option called user data, so to automate our process like installing any dependencies or application directly from launching application. So we don't have to, like, it's basically automation of installing things, so we don't have to launch the application and then open it, connect with it and install those required application one by one. Instead of, if we mention all the application using shell script or PowerShell script, it automatically gets installed in our application while launching it. So those kind of script will be in a user data. We are not actually interested on that, so we'll be just focusing on metadata. So I mentioned the metadata and send this. Alright, we have I have told in the beginning, like, instant metadata is all about getting to know about the instance itself. So we have cool things like instance ID. So just to just verify and give you the idea, so I'll be using instance ID, but we are not actually into that. If you just compare this ID that ends with 2bd, and if I just go to my instance, it also ends with 2bd. So just to show you like what are the information we can gather from here. We can gather some cool information from here, but we are interested in temporary credentials. So I'll be going to IM, where we'll be having the role we have created before, security credentials, and we have my VCS role. School, right? Fuck, we got it. We got our request. So it have three major things: access key ID, secret access key, and the token. And we have to remember that it's a temporary key, so it have expiration date. So like it could be expired, like depending upon the configuration of user, it might expire from 1 second to 6 hours, so it might differ, like, so we have to be real quick depending upon the user configuration. Assume like this particular user, that is me, I have given like more than 2 or 3 hours, so we could just go slow with it. Now what we have to do, we have to, okay, I already have few credentials added to my thing with a profile called hacker. So this hacker have this kind of things like hacker, the thing we see, right? Access key ID, secret key ID, and the token. So let me show you with this thing. So I'll go with cdvcs. That's just VCS. There is no folder like VCS or what? Or too much folder. I'll just. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm already in T, right? So cd /////. Alright, nice. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the profile we already created. I told you that it might be expired right now, so I'll be using it anyway. So I have my AWS CLI installed already, so we're gonna use S3 service. I'm gonna list out the things, and the profile I'm gonna use is hacker profile. Hacker. See, we have invalid token or not, so like the token is expired, so we cannot use the particular token. But no issue, we got a new token here, so I'll be using that. I'll be just copying this stuffs. I'll just copy it, Control C, and I'll be pasting it. I pasted, and I'll copy this too, and I'll paste here, and I'll delete this thing, and I'll copy this till this. Okay, we have to copy this properly, else it won't work. Now I am going to use the same command. See, we are listing the bucket, we are into it. So let me go into S3 again. I'll be using S3, I guess. I don't know the command exactly. I'm gonna use my VCS. Control Shift C, Control Shift V. I guess I have to use ls. Let's see. I think it's the right command. See, have you seen, like we got it included. We got to list the stuffs. So how we could download it? We could download it using sync command. So I'll be using the same thing. Instead of ls, we'll be using sync. sync. Okay, I don't know how it works. So I'll just copy it and paste it inside the. I just forgot what command I have to use it. Okay, I have to use dot. So we have to mention the location where we have to download it, right? So cd vcs ls. I already have downloaded the stuffs. What I'll do, I'll make one more directory. Make dir new cd new, and I'll use this command, and I'll put dot here. So we'll be saving on this particular location. See, it's downloaded. So we could check it. So let me go to the d, and I have to go to vcs folder. We created a new folder, and yeah, it's a data breach. So yep, it is the first part of the video. So the mitigation step will be coming on next video.